Dun, 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 dun. What is up? I guess that's basketball. I don't know why I did the NBA on NBC theme song. What is up, everyone? It's game day, Sunday, fun day. Uh, and shit's going down. Everybody's popping in here. Yeah. So I figure I'd hop on. We'd stream and talk. The only game I care about. Yeah. I mean, I'm I used to be a bigger sports fan. I still watch sports and stuff. Uh John Tesh is suing me as we speak. uh I used to be a pretty big sports fan. Like I played basketball in high school and stuff, but I don't know, like the last 5 or 6 years, like I just don't pay attention as much as I used to. I mean, I still watch football and I root for the Vikings and stuff, but I used to, you know, I used to only watch sports basically. If it was on, if it was basketball, baseball, hockey, didn't matter. I was watching it. But now I watch football and UFC, and I might like watch a finals game. That's about it. You know what I mean? As far as basketball. Uh, why is that low? Why are we way down yonder here? Damn. Da, da. Ball's okay. Doge, did you join the Discord yet? Need to get in the Discord, Doge. Link in bio. Or link in description. I'm using TikTok. You did? Okay. Alright, but yeah. So got some videos to go over here. And we gotta talk about this article that everybody on the right is holding up as the, oh, you see it was all rigged. What's a Discord? Discord is like it's a, I don't know, it's like another social media thing. It's not a social media platform. I don't know what you would call it. It's like a chat thing. Like it's like a hangout. I made one for, for my social media stuff. So like I don't know how to explain Discord exactly. But it's cool. Like it's got, you can like share, videos and memes and talk to each other. It's a chat platform, yeah. Like yeah, it's pretty cool. I like Discord, and you can do a bunch of like cool shit. There's actually, you can do like voice calls and like bullshit with each other. Like I really like how it's set up. Yeah, Discord's cool. Like I'm just last night, or not last night, the night before last, I spent like 5-6 hours going through a bunch of tutorials on how to set up like different Discord servers, and I'm in the process of getting mine all set up. Uh, but yeah, so it's yeah, it's like a chat room, but there's something else it's called. There's like a name for what it is, but uh, just real. Speaking of chat room, I made a few. Uh, on. I made a board on my Twitch. If you go to the panels down here, you can do different sounds and stuff. So, you guys want to do that? I also made some different widgets. Got a little fancy with it. We got a cool cat.
This is a test bit alert.
All right, anyway. So, I don't know. This is what I've been doing with my day. Okay. So, I found this video. Just like a nice little something to start us off with here. This guy thinks he can I like he can form clouds with his mind. I guess that's how you would put it. I don't know, it's entertaining.
This is a weather control psychic cloud control video by T Chase. See this cloud? I make videos where I'm able to control clouds by my psychokinesis, psychic power. I'm making this in, recording this September 2010. See this cloud? I'm going to try to turn this cloud into a square-shaped cloud. Make this cloud
I just found
into
this. I
a
thought y'all might find it
square-shaped
interesting.
cloud. By psychic power, turn it into a square-shaped cloud. Cloud, become a square shape. 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 Cloud, cloud, become a square shape. Turn into a square shape. Cloud.
I don't think it
Turn
worked.
into a square shape cloud.
Done?
Turn into a square shape cloud. Cloud, become a square shape cloud. Cloud, become a square shape cloud. Turn into a square shape cloud.
I don't think it worked. Well, maybe a little bit. Oh, he's like deep breathing now.
See the clouds becoming more a square shape?
I don't think it did, man.
Cloud, become a square shape cloud. Cloud, become a square shape.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. That was just something I saw. I was like, I gotta.
Has anyone who has pulled down a statue of Churchill,
Okay.
Lincoln, or Columbus thought to ask themselves,
Stop. We'll get to that in a second. But yeah, I don't know. I thought that shit was hilarious to me. He has to be trolling. Nah, I'm pretty sure he's serious, bro. I need to know him. Yeah, I wouldn't mind buying him a beer. I mean, just like, so, how do you spend your days? Well, to see, I turn clouds into more of a square-shaped cloud. It's a particular hobby I picked up when I was backpacking in Appalachia or something. Have you seen the TikTok video by a guy talking about how he was made to do and that Epstein is just the tip of the iceberg? No, I think I did see that, I think. Or I think I saw like I don't think that had anything to do with QAnon. I think that guy was just like uh like a legit maybe, and I don't know what he means by like, yeah, I saw that video and I meant to look into that and I kind of forgot about it actually. 11 a.m. It's 11 a.m. in Alaska. Yeah, no, I need to check into that actually. Because, yeah, I seen that guy talking about it, or I seen a video about it, but I don't really know anything about it. I think somebody might have sent it to me. Maybe that's where I saw it. Man, like, I get so much, like, like, having, like, 4 or 5 different, like, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, all this. And then like people send me different media and like other, and then I'm in like 3 different Discord servers with like other TikTokers. So like they'll send me stuff and then like it becomes like a whirlwind sometimes. You know what I mean? What'd you just log into? It's square-shaped clouds, bro. That's that I figure that's a good way to always start it off. Let's just get right into the crazy, you know what I mean? Like that's the special kind of crazy. Yeah, it's 2:00 where I'm at. I figure I'd stream for a little bit, then I gotta go do some stuff, and then go watch the game at my uncle's house. Yeah. Boosting the post. Yeah, I don't know. I do know what I do know is here, let's we'll come back to the I know these fuckers are really
So they called you crazy.
they're so okay. Let's just so Time magazine came out with an article, and basically it talks about how a group of people, like a guy knew that Trump, a Washington guy, knew that Trump was going to try and, you know, bullshit his way to another 4 years. He knew he was going to use bad faith arguments, and basically, if he lost, he was going to say he didn't. Basically, he knew he figured he was going to do exactly what we all thought he was going to do. Long story short. And then he got to talking with a bunch of other people, and they all kind of thought the same thing. So they started having these Zoom meetings, and one thing led to another, and it kind of became this big deal. And they got, you know, people from the Republican Party, you know, like Never Trump people, and they all kind of got together, and they did what people in Washington do. They spent money on different campaign stuff. They raised money for litigation, you know, for stuff like the ballot drop box cases, you know, all the different things that were going on. They tried to push different media narratives. They did what you do in politics for, you know, in big boy politics, what actually goes on behind the scene, what they pay people millions and millions of dollars to do. And Time came out with this article kind of breaking all that down. And the lady who wrote it kind of used a little bit of hyperbolic language at the beginning. She called it like a cabal and said, oh, maybe Donald Trump was kind of right. It was kind of a conspiracy. You know, it like she was being tongue in cheek from what I gather. But the right has like grabbed onto this, and basically every right-wing TikToker I've you know, come across on a daily basis has made a video saying, ha, you see, we were right. And this is just one of them. This guy's like one of the big ones, this Clayton Kearns. He has like 300,000 followers. But this is his take on it.
They called you a nut job. They called you a conspiracy theorist just for asking questions about the 2020 election and for just wanting transparency. For 4 years, prominent Democrats, Nancy Pelosi, could call President Trump an illegitimate president and say that the election was hacked, but you couldn't even ask one question. Then Time magazine comes out and says, you know what, now that I think about it,
Okay, first of all, that's just stupid. If you want to call the Russia investigation, you know, a conspiracy, well, let's stack it up against the Stop the Steal thing. 36 indictments is what Mueller pulled down. We know 100% for a fact that the Trump kids had a meeting with people from Russia to have an exchange to help. They had a meeting to collude with each other. The only thing is they couldn't come to a deal. Like, you attempted to collude with the Russians. Just because you could not agree on the terms of said collusion doesn't mean you weren't open to it. Also, just because you openly asked for it doesn't mean that it's any different than if you asked for it under the table or behind closed doors. And several people went to jail. Multiple people were in, like I said, 36 indictments. Shit actually went down. And one of the things they always say, oh, $40 million for the Russia investigation. Well, it actually made money because of all the shit they took from Paul Manafort. Or it didn't make money, but it was close. You know what I mean? Like, they took all of Paul Manafort's ostrich skin suits and shit or whatever he had, jackets, and they actually made a lot of money from the from him and forfeiture. But anyway, so compare that with the Stop the Steal, where 60 some odd court cases all got thrown out. The DOJ, the FBI, the people, the cybersecurity people all said nothing happened. Most secure election we've ever had. And only thing that ended up happening is a bunch of QAnon crazies stormed our Capitol and tried to murder people. And then 5 people died. Did anybody, I don't remember any pro-Russia, Russia collusion, stop the steal type deal where they all charged into a federal building and tried to kill a bunch of people over the Russiagate thing. Now, what did happen with the Russiagate thing is that the elites in the Democratic Party beat it to death, because instead of them looking at themselves and being like, oh shit, maybe we should actually give people what we promised them and do more policy and maybe fix our infrastructure and do give better health care and wipe out student debt, or just the laundry list of policies. Maybe Hillary Clinton should have campaigned in Michigan and Wisconsin. Instead of looking at themselves and being like, we fucked up, they use the Russiagate thing as a crutch. Like, oh, well, Russia, that's why Trump won. Like, no, Trump won because you suck. Trump won because he was able to go to the left of you on certain issues like infrastructure, healthcare, things like that. That's why Trump won. So the neoliberals in the Democratic Party did beat Russia to death, but to compare it to Stop the Steal is just absolutely ridiculous. I've been going on for a minute. Anyway, let's finish the video.
There was a well-funded cabal of powerful people ranging across industries and
Again, this is the very beginning of the article, and this is her being a little tongue-in-cheek, hyperbolic kind of thing.
ideologies working together behind the scenes
Somebody
to
did something, I
influence
didn't say it, I
perceptions,
appreciate
change
you, whatever
rules
you
and
are.
laws, steer media coverage, and control the flow of information. And here's the best part. They weren't rigging the election. They were simply fortifying it. Amazingly, at another part in the article, they said, in a way, Trump was right. There was a conspiracy unfolding behind the scenes. You guys have all seen the article by now. If not, go read it. But when you change laws, change rules, and when the entire media is on your side, directing the flow of information, that is rigging. So they...
Okay, let's break that down a little bit. What do I swear, like that's what I said in my TikTok earlier. Do these people have like a 5-year-old's understandings of how politics actually work? What do you think people in politics do? What do you think voter ID laws are? Do you think that's rigging it to try to help out your team? Do you think having one ballot drop box in all of Houston County is rigging it to help your side? There's a saying in politics, if you can't, I'm gonna butcher this, but it's basically, if you don't win, sue. Like, litigation is part of politics, and they tried to push the narrative. You mean like what all of politics is trying to push certain narratives and have certain talking points? There's a reason why whatever side of the media you're listening to, they have the same talking points. Like this right now, what you're saying is a talking point that is being put out by the higher ups in the GOP to push a certain narrative. Like this is a tailored talking point that they have workshopped to try and make you think a certain thing. Like what you are explaining is just politics and how it works. People get paid millions and millions of dollars to try to get you to think a certain way, or think a certain, think a certain party stands for a certain thing. And then those same parties pay millions and millions of dollars to lawyers to sue to try to get this policy passed or that policy passed, or, oh, we can't have mail-in voting past 3 days after the election, or we can't have mail-in voting till 72 hours before the election's over. You know what I mean? Like every single thing it's all a horse race to try to get the most things in your favor. But somebody details it in an article and says a couple spicy words, and they're like, oh, it's rigged. We were too busy drinking the blood of babies. Yeah. Well, let's just I have the article here. We'll go over a couple things in it. Okay. But it's got, a fancy, a little bit of a crazy name. The secret history of the shadow campaign that saved the 2020 election. The nation was braced for chaos, blah, blah, blah. And this is the... And then, okay, a second odd thing happened. Amid Trump's attempt to reverse the results, corporate America turned on him. Hundreds of major business leaders, many whom had backed Trump's candidacy and supported his policies, called on him to concede to the president. Something felt amiss. It was all very, very strange. Trump said on December 2nd, within days after the election, we witnessed an orchestrated effort to anoint the winner, even while many key states were still being counted. In a way, Trump was right. There was a conspiracy unfolding behind the scenes, on one that both curtailed the protests and coordinated the resistance from CEOs. CEOs. But so it basically talks about how people that had backed Trump before realize now that he was bad for business. See if I can find the guy's name. Okay, yeah, here's basically what they're talking about. Their work touched every aspect of the election. They got states to change voting systems and laws and helped secure hundreds of millions in public and private funding. They fended off voter suppression lawsuits, election stuff, recruited armies of poll workers, stuff they need to do, and got millions of people to vote by mail. And that was one of the main things they focused on, because the main guy in this realized that Trump was going to he was going to hammer the vote by mail stuff. And so they basically got a team together and said, okay, we need to get a mass campaign. They sent out all these mailers, and they sent out all this stuff to basically make people realize that voting by mail was safe. All it was an information campaign. What they're upset about is that Trump told a bunch of lies, and they got together and were like, hey, that guy's lying. That's basically what they're upset about. Anyway, I'll just read this little part. They fended off voter suppression lawsuits, recruited armies of poll workers, got millions of people to vote by mail. For the first time, they successfully pressured social media companies to take a harder line against disinformation. Not against conservative information, against lies. They use data-driven strategies to fight viral smears. They executed a national public awareness campaign that helped Americans understand how the vote count would unfold over days and weeks, preventing Trump's conspiracy theories and false claims of victory from getting more traction. After Election Day, they monitored every pressure point to ensure that Trump could not overturn the result. The untold story of the election is that thousands of people of both parties who accomplished the triumph of American democracy at its very foundation, says Norm Eisen, a prominent lawyer and former Obama administration official who recruited Republicans and Democrats to the board of the voter protection program. That was one of the things. And then at the end of it, it talks about, I don't know if you guys remember when Michigan was like the first state to actually certify their votes. Well, Michigan happens to be like a state where a lot of people in Trump's orbit have a lot of pull because of Betsy DeVos. She's, a quadrillionaire, and she has a lot of people in Michigan. And Ronna Romney McDaniel has a bunch of pull there. So they were worried like that's going to be the state. Like if Trump can pull some bullshit there, the rest of the states might follow suit. And because so basically they like sounded the alarms and got a bunch of people to pay attention to that, and they got the people on the board to certify the election, basically because of, you know, they put a bunch of, you know, public pressure on it by, you know, just putting, you know, just pointing to it like, hey, these guys are pretty much trying to steal our election right here. One of them was a QAnon guy. I think there was four people on the board that had to certify the election. And then Trump had the members of the GOP from, you know, from Michigan at the White House, and he was going to try to pressure them to, you know, basically not certify the election. And, you know, they got the word out about that. They sent out a bunch of information about it. They ran social media campaigns. That's pretty much what they did. And that was all the stuff they did. I mean, it's a really long fucking article. But I read this earlier. I read the whole thing earlier. And yeah, that's what it talks about. And this last part, and it talks about how close we came. It talks about, well, no, it might have been the thing before this. But saying that this is some kind of like, they're like, oh, they're gloating. They're like, no, children. This is how politics works. Okay? I don't know. It's just originally from Michigan. It's got a large Al-Qaeda population. Yeah, no, that and like they have a lot of pull. Like a lot of people in the Trump orbit had a lot of pull in Michigan. So that's what they were worried about. You know, and it talks about how they defended against disinformation. It's a really good article. I put it in the link to the video I made earlier, fact-checking the one guy. But, I mean, I'm not going to read the whole thing. I mean, there's no way. I would die. Not as nice as some of the locations. Well, see, I mean, Trump has some big business ties. But, I mean, he is bad for, he's bad for business for some people, and for some people he's not. And the people that back him, you know, are going to do what they can to push his narratives behind the scenes, just like the people on the other side are going to either call it out or do what they can to push their narratives. You know, it's everybody's jockeying for position. That's just Washington.
They called you crazy. They called you a nut job. They called you a conspiracy theorist just for asking questions about the 2020 election and for just wanting transparency. For 4 years, prominent Democrats, Nancy Pelosi, could call President Trump an illegitimate president and say that the election was hacked, but you couldn't even ask one question. Then Time Magazine comes out and says, you know what? Now that I think about it, there was a well-funded cabal of powerful people ranging across industries and ideologies working together.
Like that right there. There was a well-funded cabal. Like that's obviously like tongue-in-cheek, and I don't know. It's just they're just so dumb. I'm gonna make a couple more responses to this and kind of break it down a little bit more. But like a powerful group of people, like what do you think the Democratic Party is? They're a powerful group of people. Like this was literally people having Zoom meetings. Where is it at? See where it's just a little explainer. God damn, now, of course I can't find it now. But okay, here, yeah. Maybe this is it. Whatever. I'll make it's a big ass article, man. I don't know exactly where it is, but yeah, like this whole thing is just absurd. I'm tired of QAnon nonsense, yeah. Well, see, the thing is they don't even, so a lot of these people don't even know that these are QAnon talking points. I mean, they are. They most definitely 100%
together
are.
behind the scenes.
Okay, stop talking. We'll go over some grifters here in a minute. We gotta look at this PragerU video though, man. It is something else. Yeah, no, they don't get the well, it just she said the trigger words. Steve Bannon did the same thing, and I always like how these people are like, "Oh, you guys are just sheep. You're NPCs. You're just going with the media narrative." It's like you're like repeating verbatim what Steve Bannon said, because he was like the first one to kind of bring this to light, at least that I saw. Steve Bannon pretty much said word for word what these other TikTokers are saying. And they always try to act like, oh, you guys are just sheep that just listen to the mainstream media. You guys are NPCs, man. It's like, dude, you're getting your talking points from the "We Build the Wall" guy. That's where you're getting your talking points from. But so PragerU. By the way, while you guys are here, if you could like the stream, that would be awesome. And make sure you follow me on Twitch, because at the end of the month, all my live streams are going to be going over to Twitch. You joined my Patreon? All right, awesome. Thank you so much. Holy shit, that's so cool. Appreciate that. Join the Discord. You get a special room. But yeah, like the stream, and all my links to all my social media are down below. Join the Discord. You get subscribe on Twitch. You get some perks and shit. All that jazz. But anyway, so PragerU put out this video about statues, and it's just really stupid. Like, I can't believe, with all the shit that's going on in the world right now, these people are fundraising. I think they got like $34,000 off of this statue video. You know, 450,000 people are dead. Millions of people are out of work, but we're still talking about racist statues and why they're good or something. But yeah, it's really bad.
What kind of future
It's not as bad as the pro-slavery video, but it's pretty bad.
do we have if we destroy our past? Has anyone who has pulled down a statue of Churchill, Lincoln, or Columbus thought to ask themselves this question? I doubt it. The presumption.
Okay, so the only statue that people complained about with Lincoln is the one where he's literally like standing over some black people. I mean, it's a really weird looking statue, and some people complained about it. And I don't know if it got pulled down or not. I can't remember. But let's not act like they're just trying to cancel Lincoln. That's just not the case, okay? Nobody's trying to cancel Abe Lincoln.
That we can stand in perfect judgment over the lives of historical figures is not merely foolish and unfair, it's dangerous. Consider what the statue destroyers are in effect saying. They are saying that people in history should have known what we know. That's tantamount to saying they should have known the future. This is, of course, absurd. Yet more and more people believe it. Why? Simple. It's what they're taught. It is the fruit of an education system that long ago prioritized empathy over facts, that believes the ultimate point of history is not to learn lessons from it, but to judge it from the preordained left-wing conclusions about such ill-defined concepts as social justice, equity, and tolerance. Apart from breeding ignorance, this kind of education invites the student, the child really, to be judge, jury, and executioner over issues that they, and increasingly their teachers, know little or nothing about. Because no one has bothered to teach them the nuance, complexity, and context that is history. It also breeds arrogance. I know things these people did not know, therefore I am better than they were. They have nothing to teach me. In fact, I must teach them. And down comes the statue. A new, better history must take the place of the old one. In America, this impulse has culminated in the 1619 Project.
Okay, I think that just really is just... Nobody is saying, like, we are superior, and that's why we must take these statues down. It's like, well, no, Mo, first of all, Robert E. Lee, thought that statues dedicated to, war memorials were a bad idea. So I think it's hilarious that you are memorializing a guy who said that it was a bad idea in the first place. But the majority of these statues went up during the Jim Crow era. They didn't go up right after the Civil War as some, let's remember our history through these great people, and you know what I mean. Like it was put up as an FU to black people during a time where we had high racial tensions. So for them to be like, oh well, they just want to mock history and destroy our history. It's like, no, dude, that is not what anybody is talking about.
Project, an initiative started by the New York Times and now in schools everywhere.
Yeah, the thing we want is we want the honest account of history. We don't want the bullshit that we've been fed. It's documented history that people in the South, like what's the name of the ladies? Can't think of it. The ladies, Southern something. I can't think of it. But they lobbied to have schools, teach basically bullshit about the South, and God, it's trying to drive me nuts. Something ladies of the Confederacy or something. But they lobbied to, basically be kind to the South in schools. So the thing that we're trying to do now, or at least most people, can't speak for everyone, you're always going to have some weirdos, but we want an accurate telling of history. Like a thing a lot of people never even learn about is something like Black Wall Street, which is a crazy event in our history, but it was like erased from the history books because, it wasn't kind to the white folks, so let's not talk about it.
Which attempts to make the arrival of the first African slaves into the American colonies the foundational date of the American Republic. 1776, the American Revolution. In the new history, that was just about protecting the founders' slave interests. These men, some of the most remarkable humans to have lived at any time, are to be understood simply by their attitude towards this one issue. The 1619 Project seeks to portray America, the freest, most prosperous nation in world history, as exceptional only in one respect, insofar as being exceptionally bad. This is a purposefully destructive view of history. It is one intended to pull down rather than to build up. A healthy, humane, and...
Well, I think it's just accurate. Again, I think we're just looking for accuracy here. Let's not bullshit about our history. Let's tell it like it is, and so we can learn from it. Because bullshitting about what actually happened and what took place leads it to where I think a third of people don't know that the Civil War was fought over slavery, or that it was one of the main, the main reason basically that the Civil War was fought. Let's have an accurate telling of what our history is. Don't talk it up. It is what it is. Let's just go from there. You guys are the ones that want to be like, oh, hey, all these guys were great and they never did nothing wrong.
And in the truest sense, liberal mind does not view history as a mere playpen for our moral judgment. It recognizes that people in the past acted on the information they had just as we do today. Sure, it would have been nice if the founders of America had abolished slavery in its constitution. Some, in fact, tried very hard to do so. But had they been unwilling to compromise, there would be no constitution and no United States. All the sacrifices of the revolution would have been lost, so a compromise balancing the interests of the northern states.
I don't know what this has to do with statues, by the way. This isn't... Nobody's saying take down statues of George Washington. I mean, and if they are, it's a very, very small minority. And this is something they like to do. 5 people say something, And then they're like, oh, everyone wants to cancel George Washington. Cancel culture is real. Now they're the new target now. This is totally off topic, but I saved a couple TikToks about it. Now the Morgan Wallen thing, the country guy that said the N-word, they're like, oh, cancel culture's coming for him. It's like, dude, no, like it's not cancel culture. Like, people just don't want to fuck with somebody that's a racist.
States and the southern states was reached. It would have been nice if the Japanese had surrendered before atom bombs were dropped over Hiroshima and Nagasaki, but they didn't. President Truman had to make his decision based on the information he had at the time, that an Allied invasion of the Japanese home island would cost at least 1 million lives.
Is anybody trying to cancel Truman? I missed that hashtag. Is there a Truman is over party? Is that trending?
Both American and Japanese. Of course, the woke mind abhors these subtleties. It knows that it is right, and that everybody before our current age, year zero, should have known better. Anyway, they were all bigots. Why should we give them any benefit of the doubt, let alone admire them or learn from them? Well, maybe because, like everyone else, the great figures of the past did the best they could under the circumstances in which they found themselves, that their efforts largely...
Again, like, the craziest thing about this video is just, like, the timing of it. Like, what is this video, your online university here, with everything that's going on, you're talking about how the woke mob wants to take down all the statues of history, and Truman he did what he could at the time. It's like, dude, what... You are making an argument, or you are pushing back on something that nobody is arguing. Nobody is talking. Nobody cares. I don't know, where is this coming from. It's the most, like, out of left field shit, or right field, I guess, that I've ever seen. Like, nobody cares about statues. Can we get through the pandemic first? Can we maybe like get a couple things under our belt before we talk about statues that no one's ever talked about?
Actually succeeded is why we are here. When someone tried to give Sir Isaac Newton credit for his world-changing discoveries in physics, the great man demurred. He said he was only able to achieve what he did by standing on the shoulders of the giants who went before him. Today's left rejects Newton's humility. It doesn't believe that we stand on anyone's shoulders. It imagines that if we could only liberate ourselves from the dusty, misguided, and misinformed ideas of the past, then we might see further, fly still higher. This view is wrong. Divorced from our past, we would be utterly lost. We would not rise, but plummet. We would be forced to start again with far less insight, and with far poorer examples as our guides. Ironically, thanks to the statue.
I love how, hey, let's not put up monuments to Confederate war generals, or, let's not put up monuments of Confederate war generals, or maybe, hey, let's take those down. Turns into, let's learn nothing from our past because they were all a bunch of racist bigots. Like, nobody is saying that. No one has said, oh, we should not learn from our past. We only have to learn from 2002 on, and only parts of 2002, because, racism still exists. Let's not learn from anybody that's ever done anything racist. Like, they go so far with this shit. They stretch it so far. It's just absurd.
Statue destroyers. The great figures of the past have never looked greater. I'm Douglas Murray, author of The Madness of Crowds, for Prager University.
I bet.
Thank you for watching this video.
Prager University. Go. What if I was a right-winger, I believe I would say, go back to your own country. Like, I'm from Alabama, sir, actually. Okay, well, that's that. I don't know. Yeah, it just, they make the dumbest arguments. and they always go so far into left, so far out with them. Nobody is making any of those arguments. Nobody's saying we shouldn't learn from history. What does that even mean? Like, what an absurd statement to make. That's what we want. That we just don't want to learn from history because racism. These people are utterly ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. Yeah, exactly. Why are we celebrating? And we all know, like, all you got to do is look it up. I think something like 75% of those Civil War memorials got put up during the 60s, from the 40s to the 60s. That's when they got put up, as like hey, guess who doesn't belong here? Let's put up a statue of General Lee. Yeah, so but trying to act like everyone's trying to cancel like every president in history because some of them were racist, it's just ridiculous. I can think of the one Lincoln statue people wanted to take down because it was a bad look. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on here. Yeah, Lincoln statue to be taken down. Yeah, I mean, you see what I mean? Like, it's a little rough looking. You kind of can't see because of my thing there, my window. But like, I get it. Yeah, that's little rough on the eyes, little cringe, definitely. Anyway. War on weed and yeah, the war on weed. Hitler wasn't all. That's funny. The war on porn in Utah. Yeah, I remember that one. That was a great war that was fought. Here's some Q cope I thought was pretty funny. Talking about always changing the dates, the guy's like, please stop with the dates because when we get those days and nothing happens, people will lose all hope. How many times do we move the goalpost? I want to wake up one morning, start my coffee and turn on the boob tube. Who the fuck still calls it that? And it's going down. This guy's like, doesn't matter what you want though. That's not how this works. And if dates change, roll with it, LOL, or ignore the dates. Like, yeah, dates don't matter anymore. Let's just ignore them, I guess. Just I don't know, little friendly neighborhood Q cope. But so yeah, anyway, I figured we haven't really checked out TikTok on a live stream in a while. And of course it's full of conservative cringe. So I figure we'd go over that a little bit and maybe see what they're up to. What video is this?
Joe, what are you doing?
Oh, this guy.
Nothing, sir.
Are you taking the cards?
No.
My white privilege cards?
This shirt is 100% cotton, so I picked it. Is there nothing these people won't grift, man? These are white privilege cards, by the way. This guy is selling white privilege cards. It's it's genius actually that he would sell this.
Well, I got lots of family members.
Hey, give those back.
And I'm trying to get lots of white privilege. And
also, is this comedy to these people? Does this guy really think this is funny? Like, Steven Crowder could only be a comedian on the right. I swear. Like, this is not funny at all. Oh, look at I got my white privilege cards and I'm sticking them in my this shirt's cotton, so I picked it sweater because I don't know why exactly.
We're tired of getting pulled over and we're tired of oppression. And so I need this. I need it. I need them all.
Alright, let's see
Joe,
what else he's
what are
got
you
going
doing?
on this page.
That's not a real person.
You have been stopped on the street with
Dude, I really
running.
hate how TikTok is now on how they do their freaking videos. Like, you used to like go to the page and they'd all be there and you could sift through them. Now it's like this, and I hate it. I absolutely hate it.
Okay, tell me you aren't offended by Morgan Wallen saying the N-word.
Oh God, here we go.
Without telling me you aren't offended by Morgan Wallen saying the N-word. Keep hearing that I've got my black card revoked. Well, that's okay. My shirt is 100% cotton, so I picked it. And I don't really need a black card, because I got so much white privilege. And you can get you some white privilege from officialjoelpatrick.com.
Of course he's selling them. Oh God, this is so cringy. Jesus, these people. He just had to do. Oh, I need a shower immediately.
Use code BLACKREDNECK at checkout to save 20%. I'm Joel Patrick, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
He probably made $100 grand off selling those cards too. Odd. Yeah, oh yeah, of course he sells them. Dude, what do you mean? Why would he? There's no other reason to do it. Okay, if you're gonna sell your soul, sell the whole thing, baby. All right, just all of it. You gotta go all in. It's all or nothing. Them Ray-Bans ain't cheap. Okay.
Man on whiskey siren.
Oh, he's playing.
Ran my mouth to an out of towner. Learned a big lesson when I met the.
Just two people who don't get offended by everything staring at each other. Okay, nobody is. Just join TikTok. It's moronic. Yeah. You got, well, okay, when you first join TikTok, it's really bad. You have to like videos and get the algorithm in your favor, and then it eventually gets better. Kinda. Sometimes. Nobody is like going around screaming like, oh my God, I'm so offended by this guy saying the N-word. It's like, hey man, maybe, just maybe, you shouldn't go around saying the N-word. Like, he's been caught on camera saying it multiple times. You know what I mean? Like, people are just like, I don't want to fuck with this guy no more. So, peace out. Not, and you know, it's a bad look for the record company. It's a bad look for the record company if in 2021 your artist is saying the N-word out in public. But of course, these people, and this is why cancel culture just really isn't a thing, is because if you get canceled by one side, the other side is right there to pick you up. Normally it's concerned, like, you know, I did his, I don't know if it was his record sales or I'm assuming it was his stream, because nobody buys records anymore. His streams went up like 338% since this happened. So, you know, like, people, you can't cancel them no more. Can I recommend some channels? Yeah. Well, here, let's just go to my page real quick. Do that real quick.
I found myself in this bar, making mistakes and making new friends.
Shut up. All these people. John Scott. If you want to laugh. Matt's on the right, but he's all right. Chris Wells. All these people. They're all good.
My name is Joel Patrick, and I'm here to talk to you today about Morgan Wallen. A lot of you guys think this is the Confederate flag, and you're offended by it, and you're like, oh my gosh. The funny thing about this isn't the Confederate flag. This is. But you didn't know it because you're more interested in being offended by what people say you should be offended by. You also aren't.
No, dude. That's not. I mean, we know. Okay, that's like the Tennessee battle flag or whatever. It's not that the flag is from the it's that racist people use that flag to flex. Like, y'all are the ones that called it the Confederate flag. That you know what I mean? Like, you're the ones flying it. It's not offensive. I don't want to call it offensive because, you know, I always take like, oh, I'm offended. Like, no, it's just it's a shitty thing because people who use that flag are usually, it's like KKK, alt-right, racist people that use that flag. It's not just because, it's a Confederate flag, we get offended. That's not the point. It's the point of who uses the flag. If a bunch of Mormons in Utah latched onto that flag 100 years ago, like, whatever, I guess. Okay, it's got like a shit history, kind of, but, I guess it wouldn't really matter that much. It's who flies the flag is why it's bad.
Aren't offended by non-black celebrities using the N-word. If you were, you would have canceled Justin Bieber in 2014 when he used the N-word. Robert Downey.
Wasn't Justin Bieber like 14? And isn't it a little different when a grown-ass man does it? Like, I can forgive some 2004. How old is Justin Bieber now? Isn't that what he said?
Jr., Jennifer Lopez, Eminem, when the tape surfaced of him rapping before he was famous, where he used the N-word. The question is not, did Morgan Wallen use a racial slur? The question is, was he being racist in doing so? And I would argue that he was not. The person that he called the N-word wasn't even black. He also said it ending in an A because he meant it as...
This video has 363,000 likes. Holy fuck.
As an endearing term, which he could have only learned from black cultures. I would say, Morgan, you should probably have used your white privilege card to get out of this one, but...
Man, he is fucking pushing them white privilege cards. Jesus. He must have made too many of them or something.
Even the white privilege card wouldn't have helped you. You'd been better off having a black card. Apparently you can burn, loot, riot, and murder, and not a big deal. My name is Joel Patrick, and I'm here to talk to you today about Morgan Wallen. A lot of you guys think this is the Confederate flag, and you're offended by it, and you're like, oh my gosh. The funny thing about this is this isn't the Confederate flag. This is. But you didn't know it because you're more interested in being offended by what people say you should be offended by. You also aren't offended by non-black celebrities using the N-word. If you were, you would have canceled Justin Bieber in 2014 when he used the N-word. Robert Downey Jr., Jennifer Lopez, Eminem, when the tape surfaced of him rapping before he was famous, where he used the N-word. The question is not...
Okay. How old is Justin Bieber? 26. So... Yeah, he was like...
Did Morgan Wallen use a racial slur? The question is...
And if Robert Downey Jr. used the N-word, that is bad. That is terrible. I don't know when that was, though. I don't remember it. And this isn't the only time this guy has used it. He's used it, it's to my knowledge, at least 2 other times he's been caught saying the N-word on camera. Or, like, out in... Like, people saw... I don't know if it was caught on camera both times. I don't know enough about the story. I only know a little bit, but I know he's been caught saying it multiple times. That's the thing people have an issue with. Jennifer Lopez saying it, I don't know. I guess you could make a case that she shouldn't say it either, but I guess that would depend. Debunction Junction, yeah, that's a good account. I like that guy. But it's not the point. It's that he's clearly comfortable saying the thing. And man, you are really milking this. This is like the 3rd video you made about that. Scratch that. 4th video you made about it.
Tell me that you're extremely wealthy without telling me that you're extremely wealthy.
Okay. Oh, God. The shilling going on.
My name is Joe Patrick, and I'm here to talk to you today about Morgan Wallen. I personally couldn't care less if he did or didn't say the N-word. What I care about is your selective outrage. Why? Because you're being a hypocrite. You also aren't offended by non-black celebrities using the N-word. If you were...
Okay.
Joe.
I feel like the one thing, and forgive me for saying this, the one thing white America fears is an educated black man. For real.
My name is Joel Patrick, and I have been living while black in America for the last 25 years. He said that white Americans fear educated black men. White people do not fear educated black men. In fact, the opposite is true. It's uneducated black men who think shooting up the hood is some kind of a way of life that they continuously rap about and pretend like it's this glamorous thing that...
I swear, man, these guys, they just piss me off so bad. Speaking of... Oh, God, don't start that shit. That reminds me of this video right here.
I lost my job, rent's due tomorrow. I need to make money the easiest way I know how, and that's telling white people what they want to hear. Coon baptism transformation. Black Lives Matter is more dangerous than the Klan? Woo, hell yeah, I'm a hip plus. He's one of the good blacks. I lost my...
That's a... This guy's, like, whole shtick. Is that
white people are upset at.
Candace Owens.
Upset at.
My name is Joe Patrick, and I'm here to talk to you today about Morgan Wallen. I personally couldn't care less.
Okay. Who else do we got? Oh, this guy's
So
something
Candace
else.
Owens is trending on Twitter for saying, "I love America," thinking about running for president. And I'm like, yeah, a beautiful, intelligent patriot.
For some reason, I don't know why, this guy's videos are garbage. It's just bad conservative talking points. But like the Trumpers on my Facebook, on my people I know personally, I love this guy's videos. Like every other day, I see this fucking idiot's videos on people I know's Facebook pages, and I'm just want to scream. And now he's talking about Candace Owens 2024. Fucking yeah, right.
Let's do it. Leftists should like the idea. She's black. She's a woman. After all, that is why they voted.
She's a horrible person. I'll just say that. She is a terrible person who lies constantly. Even Joe Rogan knew that Candace Owens running for president was ridiculous. When Dave Rubin brought it up to him, he laughed in his face. Well, let's go to his page here. Let's see what he's been cooking up.
So Candace Owens is trending on Twitter.
Nobody cares.
Bulletin released to all law enforcement earlier this week that there is, until the end of April, a persistent threat of domestic extremism, domestic terrorism. But my question for you is around incitement. We had a policy, and it was very controversial. It was carried out under the Bush years and under the Obama.
I don't care.
You said this, and I quote, "Donald Trump, he has done good stuff for the black community, opportunity zone stuff, black college stuff. There's a side to Donald Trump that I think
does suck. I don't know.
Republicans have been getting silenced for saying exactly what this new Time magazine article says.
Oh God, here we go again. I'm telling you, every one of them's made a video about this. Every single one of them.
Cabal of powerful people ranging across industries and ideologies working together behind the scenes.
Dude, you could say anything and just put the word cabal in it, and conservatives will jump on it. Oh, there's been a deep state cabal of gummy bear assassins going after the Trump administration, and I can prove it. Just put out a statement that says something like that, and they'll jump on it. They'll be like, well, the cabal, there's a cabal. It's a cabal, guys. There's gotta be, there's something to it, right? He said cabal. He said the magic word. They get wet at that word cabal. Like, do you guys not understand that? Like, yet, I don't even know what well-funded cabal. Like, yeah, it's just it's politics. It was a bunch of people having Zoom meetings, for Christ's sake. I'm gonna make like 4 videos about this later.
Perceptions, change rules and laws, steer media coverage, and control the flow of information.
What do you think you're doing right now, idiot? What do you think you're doing right now? You're trying to create a narrative. You're trying to control the flow of information. You're putting out a talking point. That is what you're doing right now. You're trying to control the narrative.
They got states to change voting systems and laws and helped secure hundreds of millions in public and private funding. They
Yeah, that's called campaigning. That's what. Oh.
Did off voter suppression lawsuits, recruited armies of poll workers, and got millions of people to vote by mail for the.
They got millions, guys. They got millions of people to vote. Cue ominous music. What is it with these people and the ominous music? Mike Lindell and his ominous. They always have the ominous music. They just think that makes them sound better. Do I need some ominous music? Is that what I'm missing here? Yeah, they secured people to work at polling places, and they got, get this, they got people to vote.
The first time, they successfully pressured social media companies.
See, he's actually stupider than the other ones. See, the Clayton Kearns guy, he's a little bit better with his propaganda. He knew not to read this part. He just read the first part. You know what I mean? Like, this guy's not very bright, though. So he read this part that says they did
to take a harder line against disinformation and use data-driven...
Oh, yeah. No, there's no quotations with disinformation. No quotes here. Okay? Can you guys believe it? They told people not to lie. They told these social media companies, like, hey, you should do more about people lying on your platform.
Strategies to fight viral smears. I wish this was a joke, but it's not. So Time Magazine can come out and say these things, openly admit these things, but conservatives and Republicans can't. Time to wake up, America. God bless you.
Time Magazine details how elections work. Republicans say, I don't, cue any number of, say that the country is actually is owned by, what was it, France or something, and that we're actually a corporation, and on March 4th, Donald Trump is going to get reelected. Yeah, that's the same thing.
So Build Back Better isn't just about economics, it's about national security as well. Issues that working families in this country are facing every day that are challenging their lives and livelihoods. The pandemic, climate change, the threat of domestic violent extremism.
This was a president of the United States inciting a terrorist attack on Congress.
America has been through a civil war, world wars, a Great Depression, pandemics, McCarthyism, and now a Trumpist and white nationalist insurrection.
There really weren't that many members of Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan. The thrust of our campaign there was, yes, to hunt down Al-Qaeda, but primarily
London, that's what it was, yeah. I don't know why
remove the supportive environment in which they were able to flourish. And that meant fighting the Taliban. And I think that is the heart of what we need to deal with here.
This is about turning Americans against Americans. This was and is about framing every conservative who voted for Trump to be your enemy. They used the Capitol, but it was never about the Capitol. Time to wake up.
So Build Back Better isn't...
Check out this attack on black conservatives and Christians from Vanity Fair. White supremacy is not just for white people. Trumpism, the Proud Boys, and the extremist allure for people of color. So in order for a black person to be conservative, they have to be somehow allured into being one. Check out some of these clips. Following 2020's presidential election, in which a high number of people of color voted for Trump to remain in office, in some cases in higher numbers than in 2016,
it was 11%. Okay, I don't know about high numbers. It was 11%, which is higher than what Mitt Romney got. But, you know, let's tone it down with the high number. It was 11%.
Questions have arisen about the ideologies of Trump non-white supporters, their political mindset, and whether their numbers could grow. Ooh, spooky. Those spooky conservatives who just want liberty and freedom for everybody. Ooh, Christianity's entrenched conservatism is fertile ground for far-right politics. They always say blacks aren't a
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's 100% right.
Monolith, but they want blacks to be monolithic. If you don't hold far left ideologies, you are now a black white supremacist. Check out this. We are gathered here today to say goodbye to one of our dear friends. Ratings are down to an unrecoverable low. We will see them again in the afterlife. No, he was too young.
You know whose ratings are down the most? Fox News. But, I mean, whatever. It doesn't matter. I honestly, like, yeah, cable news is going to be in for a world of hurt for the next couple years.
The New York Times tells Joe Biden to ease up on signing executive orders. Here's a clip from the article. Mr. Biden's legacy will depend on his ability to hammer out agreements with Congress.
Speaking of Tim Pool, this argument, or not, this discussion that he had on his podcast is something to behold.
Gets me is that even,
and it's not hit. Well, it's this other guy, man. He's fired up about it. They really want to say the N-word so bad.
On a show where we're not going to censor ourselves, we still say the N-word, and I think that's more offensive than actually saying the word. Like it's so bad.
Shaggy 2 Dope here with probably the worst take I've ever heard. Saying the N-word is not as offensive or is more offensive than actually saying the word, according to this guy.
That we have to dance around it. That's so sickening to me.
It's a Mexican standoff. It's that I don't like Papa John is a really good.
Or hear me out. It's basic decency. Not a Mexican standoff. It's called basic decency.
Example. He was critically using the word, and they canceled him for it.
That's fucking crazy to me. It's a word. It's a fucking English word.
And
it means black in Spanish.
No.
It's derived from the word that means black in Spanish. It's just a slang word. It doesn't mean anything other than black.
And because everyone is scared of the woke.
Well, all words mean does he know all words are made up? He knows that, right? We made it all up. Everything is just made up at some level. But, we have deemed that in polite society, there's certain things we just don't say. That being one of them. But, I mean, go off, I guess.
Woke mob.
Fuck. What happened?
Scared of the woke mob. You can't say these words.
That's fucking
man.
Crazy, dude.
Welcome to what Jack.
Where have you been, bro? It didn't used to be
where-
like this. It didn't used to be this sensitive.
George Carlin went on stage.
Yeah, you guys, Mac, you remember back in the days when we used to own them people and nobody cared what you said because, we owned an entire group of people, so it didn't matter what we called them. You guys, them were the good old days. Oh my God, these guys.
And said every racial slur you could think of, and literally he called Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy the N-word. He said it straight up. And then he said, and it doesn't matter because it's the person behind the words, and they cheered for him. That was the old school left in this country, the liberals. It's not that way anymore, man. The woke mob has taken over.
Chappelle gets away with it easily, and so
He's
does
black.
And
black, buddy.
What's Donnell Rawlings, his good friend, co-founder.
This guy knows Dave Chappelle's black, right? I would hope he would know that.
Worked on the Chappelle show. He does it all the time, but it's not just because he's black. It's because of the way he says it.
No, I'm pretty sure it's because he's black. And it's kind of how it works, man. Just there's we have figured out that there's just a certain way some things work, and that is one of those things. I love how he thinks there's some deeper meaning to it. Well, I don't think it's just because he's black. No, dude, no, it's because he's black. Let's not think too hard on this one. It's because he's black.
I mean, definitely. You don't.
No, it's because he's black.
You think just because?
Do you remember?
He's really thinking on that one.
Or was it?
This guy's rethinking.
I can't
his
remember.
life
It's a famous current rapper, and Kendrick Lamar. They called a white girl up on stage at his own show.
Yeah.
He put the mic in her mouth. She recited the lyrics from heart and said at the same time in the song as he did, and he stopped the show and got mad at her. You can't say that. You can't do that.
What was she supposed to do?
She was singing his own lyrics on stage.
One of the things that gets me is that even on a show.
Well, I don't know anything about that Kendrick Lamar thing, but I think it's hilarious that this guy thinks there's a deeper meaning as to why Dave Chappelle can get away with saying the N-word. Oh, man. Shit is crazy. Oh. Yeah, you see how deep in thought he was? It's well, man, I don't know. Maybe it's how he says it. No, dude, no. Just it's because he is black. So it turns out he can say the words that they can. It's just that one. There's not a bunch. There's not like a laundry list of words that only they can say. It's just that one. But, you know, go off, I guess. I guess the woke mob came after you. Well, what is going on? Huh. Did I? No, I guess I didn't. Thought I heard an alert. Okay, yeah, we got some move. Oh, yeah, I know what I wanted to show you guys. Oh, thanks for the bits. Very much appreciated. It's supposed to do a freaking voice alert when I do that. When it does that. God damn it. I thought I had that figured out. Where the hell is it? Ah! Is it up here farther? Oh yeah, here it is. Dude, this lady, I love how we're still getting brand new video from the Capitol riots. Like, there's just endless amounts of this stuff. Every day there's new footage. But this lady went pretty ham.
We want honesty. You're sellouts and you're going down. You take a bribe, you're gonna deal with America.
And that's the bottom line, 'cause Stone Cold said so. Or something like that.
Because we are coming after every single one of you. You We want honest.
Oh yeah, but this is any other good TikTok
On the campaign
videos?
trail, he often touted his skills at finding compromise,
shut
his
up.
decades as a legislator.
Which one is? Oh, you guys want to see how? You guys want to see how well grifting pays off? Why these guys grift so hard?
It's pretty obvious we all know.
First of all, these fucking people have the balls to go after Jen Psaki because she says, I'll circle back to you on something. We've had press briefings every day of the Biden administration during the week. Not on the weekends, but every day of the week, we get a press briefing. I think Kayleigh McEnany did like 7 the entire time. And I think we got like 40 the entire Trump administration. We have had a press briefing every day. And this fucking guy makes a rap song called Circle Back.
No, you're pretending. You have no actual facts for the lies that you're defending. Conservatives not the only ones who find it condescending. The real reason you circle back is because you know it's never ending. Round and round and round you go, dancing like a puppet show. Just a simple yes or no. Thousands watching wanna know the truth. I guess there's too much to ask. Like why Biden was at the Lincoln Memorial without a mask, huh? Can't believe what I'm seeing now. Got everyone thinking now. Just how much you get paid. Only.
What? What is with the hotel coffee maker? Why is that in the song? Why is that like? Why is that the prop? And so Biden, who gets tested for COVID, 14 times a day probably, took a couple pictures with his family, immediate family, at the Lincoln Memorial. That's what they're worried about. This is the thing. This is the thing that has them up and pissed off. Like, what is this song?
It's pretty obvious we all know.
So Candace Owens is trending on.
It's pretty obvious we all know you're pretending.
Life like Jesus Christ.
Ladies and gentlemen,
welcome back to.
Let me let you listen. Let me let
double up. Welcome back. Time now for our Patriot Report.
Ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the octagon, Richie.
Tech censorship.
TikTok, if you could do me a huge favor.
Life like Jordan.
Life like
TikTok.
Take it down.
Tech censorship is.
Ladies and gentlemen, making his way to.
Welcome back. Time now for our Patriot Report.
Double up. 3 or 4 times, I ain't telling no lie.
Let me let you all in on a little secret. The reason why the Democrats highlight being the first to do things is because they've always been last throughout history. Last to free the slaves, last to give us citizenship, last to give us the right to vote, last to pass the Civil Rights Acts of 1964, 65, and 67. Even with Biden passing 30 executive orders in his first 3 days, the only thing they have to show for the black community is Harriet Tubman on a $20 bill. Hey Joe, yeah, this is BLM, man. We was wondering, were you ever going to...
Tens of thousands on my right, thousands by my side.
Listen, this video is for all my black gatekeepers and white.
Okay. Wait till we play.
Sweet Mary Joseph.
This guy, yeah. This is why grifting is. This is why there are will never be a short supply of grifters. This guy's 2 songs that, I mean, I guess they're okay. They're just dumb, like, oh, we're patriots, hear me roar type shit. They're the number 1 and 2 rap songs in the hip hop category. Like, what? Like, again, okay. Like, good for you, man. If you got, you're a good rapper, you're a good rapper. I don't care. More power to you. But it's the fact that this is solely because of the grift. And also because he got kicked off a platform once. So once conservatives see that, they rush to, rush to his side. So you will, but this is why you will never see an end to the grifting, because goddamn if it ain't profitable. But anyway. Yeah, I love the I've seen several videos of them talking about Jen Psaki and how she says circle back. How they could ever have, I mean, I shouldn't be surprised though, because I mean, of course they would. Of course they're gonna go after her for something that is just ridiculous. I haven't seen her dodge too many questions. I haven't really watched the press briefings, to be honest. I watched like the first 2. And they were okay. And most of the questions that she circled back on were bullshit questions from Steve Ducey's kid and stuff like that. So it wasn't on anything too big. And I definitely have some gripes with the Biden administration, but it's not Jen Psaki saying circle back. And this guy made a fucking song about it. But yeah, Jim Jordan. And actually, let's watch the Liz Cheney was on Fox this morning. She had some interesting shit to say.
And joining us now, Wyoming Congresswoman Liz to your
Exactly like Congress. Deeply unpopular.
That she didn't just. There really, Congresswoman, are 2 questions here, one of which is the role of President Trump. That's going to be debated in the Senate this next week, but also the future of the Republican Party. In Washington this week, you survived a challenge to your position as the House Republican Conference chair, but there was fierce blowback to your decision to vote to impeach the president. Take a look at some of that.
She didn't just go voter conscience on the day of the vote. She spoke ahead of time, 36 hours, put out a statement. And
why is it that America has such a disappointing Congress? Because in a lot of ways, Liz Cheney is exactly like Congress. Deeply unpopular and owned by special
Look
interests.
At this guy's fucking hair. What is this hair he's got going on here? He looks like fucking Jimmy Neutron.
Does it bother you that there was more open outrage among House Republicans to your vote to impeach the president, a vote of conscience, say, than to the years of misstatements by Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene?
Look, I think that, first of all, with respect to Congresswoman Greene, we've all been very clear. The things that she has said don't have any place in our public discourse, and we as a Republican conference...
Well, that's not true. Maybe you have called him out. Half of the party has been like, QAnon? Never heard of her. But, I mean, I don't know. She said that 2 years ago, even though she shared a pro-Q article 3 months ago. What? She said that a long time ago, 2018, so long ago. I don't remember. You know, they do that thing. This is a lady who chased down members of Congress to get them to swear on a Bible. But, you know, so she's done more than just the QAnon stuff. And saying, you know, that's just like the really crazy, outrageous stuff. She's done way more stuff that you guys haven't called out or you haven't denounced. And half of your party is like rallying behind her and you know, pumping her up.
Should deal with that issue. We should have dealt with it. That's not something that the Democrats should be addressing on the floor of the House. We should have dealt with that. With respect to where we are as a party, I think that the vote in conference made very clear. We are the party of Lincoln. We are not the party of QAnon or anti-Semitism or Holocaust deniers or white.
Anybody want to tell her? I think somebody needs to tell her. I don't know when you stopped being the party of Lincoln, but you're definitely not now. You're more the party of that other thing you just said than you are the party of Lincoln.
Supremacy or conspiracy theories. That's not who we are.
And I love how now warmonger Liz Cheney is the voice of reason. Like, we're looking at Liz Cheney like, man, why can't Republicans just be like Liz Cheney, who is a terrible garbage person? Whose father might literally be Satan. But you know, she believes 9/11 happened, so you know, low bar.
We believe in conservative principles and conservative values, and we believe in the Constitution. And the extent to which, if you think about the threats that the nation faces, and you think about what happened on January 6th, I talked to Officer Sicknick's mother this week, and I pledged to her, as I know many of my colleagues have, that we will not forget what happened on January 6th, and that the single greatest threat to our republic is a president who would put his own self-interest above the Constitution, above the national interest. You know, we've had a situation where President Trump claimed for months that the election was stolen and then apparently set about to do everything he could to steal it himself. And that ended up in an attack on the Capitol. 5 people killed that day. That's the kind of attack that can never...
She's going to get a lot of heat for saying that. What she just said, she's going to get a lot of heat for that. But that's just basically what happened. That's just stating reality, and she's going to get a ton of heat for that.
Never happen again. Our institutions held, but we all have an obligation to make sure that they continue to do so and don't look past.
Also, I don't want to hear about Republicans or anti-cancel culture when they're doing everything in their power to try and cancel this lady. At least the ones that are supposedly anti-cancel culture, like Matt Gaetz and shit, are the ones leading the charge to cancel Liz Cheney.
That's what happened on January 6th. It was, you know, just over a month ago.
I just want to ask you one more question about January 6th. When you voted to impeach the president, you said this. He, quote, summoned this mob, assembled the mob, and lit the flame of this attack. Everything that followed was his doing. There has never been a greater betrayal by a president of the United States of his office and his oath to the Constitution. Congresswoman, one of the things you certainly are is a straight talker. Would you vote to convict President Trump of incitement of insurrection?
If I were in the Senate, I would obviously listen to the evidence. I think that that's the role the Senate has as jurors. I would also point out, though, Chris, that the Senate trial is a snapshot. There is a massive criminal investigation underway. There will be a massive criminal investigation of everything that happened on January 6th and in the days before. People will want to know exactly what the president was doing. They will want to know, for example, whether the tweet that he sent out calling Vice President Pence a coward while the attack was underway, whether that tweet, for example, was a premeditated effort to provoke violence. There are a lot of questions that have to be answered, and there will be many, many criminal investigations looking at every aspect of this, at everyone who was involved, as there should be. But I stand firmly by my statement. We've never seen that kind of an assault by a president of the United States on another branch of government, and that can never happen again.
So just to press that, if you were in the Senate, would you vote to convict?
If I were in the Senate, I would listen to the testimony. I would listen.
They're dancing around a little bit there. But yeah, that's just crazy to me that the people that say they're so anti-cancel culture and all this, if anything, I mean, they're just, at the end of the day, they're going to go with what they think is going to win them elections. That's just bottom line what it is. And right now, there's still a big enough base. It's still the party of Trump. Trump overwhelmingly has the most support in the Republican Party. So they're still going to feed that base. There's going to be a group of Republicans that are going to try to distance themselves from it. But at the end of the day, that's what they're going to go with because that's still what works. The Jim Jordans, like this is the future of the party, not the Liz Cheney. Liz Cheney will probably never win another election. It's going to be the Jim Jordans and the Matt Gaetz. And that's just where we're going to end up going. And it's sad, but, you know, people like Liz Cheney are a dying breed because she definitely can't win anybody on the left. And people that aren't in, you know, in the political, you know, left or right spectrum, they don't care. They're not going to rally around Liz Cheney. And the people on the right, this is the people that they've decided to die with these people. God, it's always Florida, man. Why is all the Florida people? Well, I guess Marjorie Taylor Greene's from Georgia. Who else? Well, Rick Scott's pretty bad. Rick Scott, Matt Gaetz. Ron DeSantis. He's pretty garbage. Check out a little bit of this. About to have to bounce out here in a second.
Well, it's actually, it could be anyone, and Americans don't want to live in fear, Sean, because we have this thing called the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and the First Amendment. But I said 3 weeks on the House floor, 3 weeks ago on the House floor during the impeachment debate, I said, I spoke to the Democrats. I said, don't think the cancel culture won't come after you too. Sean, it took all of 13 days for that statement to be proven true, because what happened last week in San Francisco, the school board said the Dianne Feinstein Elementary School will no longer be named after Senator Feinstein. So even a liberal icon.
Oh my God. That's not getting canceled. Is it like a right to have a school named after you? Maybe the school just doesn't want to be political. You ever think about that? Not having a school named after you is not cancel culture. You did not lose your job. You did not lose any kind of support for anything. That's not getting canceled, Jim. Okay? If anybody is a candidate for cancel culture, it's you after what happened with your wrestling students. Or your, I guess, whatever, student athletes, whatever you want to call them. That's not getting canceled, Jim. That's just not having a school named after you. But, okay, yeah. Sure, man. Yeah, that's cancel culture.
In the state of California, who has represented that state in the United States Senate for decades, even she's not woke enough, and she gets canceled for something she said 37 years ago. That is how dangerous this is, and the Democrats are playing with fire. And we should not do this, and that's why the Judiciary Committee is going to stand up and talk about what the cancel culture mob is doing, how they're attacking our First Amendment liberties, and make sure that we push back on this and it stops happening, because it should not take place in this great country.
And, you know, I watched closely the hearing with Nadler today, Matt Gaetz, and what does it take?
Look at them eyes. Look at his. Oh God, tell me, fucking Damien over here. Jesus, look at this guy. Like staring, staring through a burning a hole in a wall or something, man. Jesus, look at this guy in his tan suit.
Take all of 10, 15 seconds to say the Pledge of Allegiance, and that, I guess, is unacceptable to Congressman Nadler.
Jerry Nadler gave us the I gave at the office version of patriotism today. Jim Jordan and I are speaking to you from a capital city that is draped in barbed wire, that is crisscrossed in barricades, and inside the Capitol building, a woman who got over
Gee, I wonder why that happened. Why did that happen, Matt? Couldn't be anything that you said or pushed or lobbied for. Now, why is all those why is the Capitol got a fence around it? I wonder why that is.
75% of the vote in her district was denied her opportunity of full service because.
And cue the Marjorie Taylor Greene defense.
Democrats believe that the people inside of Washington, D.C., here for this occupation, know better than the people throughout this great country. It's a travesty. I'm glad that Jim and I are, here fighting to ensure that there is that opportunity to have people who disagree on substance without trying to totally cancel one another. I think it's also interesting that as they were objecting to...
Again, these guys, everything's cancel culture now. That's going to be the new... Well, it already was a thing, but everything's cancel culture now. Being a member of Congress and getting your committees taken away is not being canceled, okay? That's not being canceled because you said, let's see. Let's go through them. You said 9/11, or you said a plane didn't fly into the Pentagon. You said Parkland was fake. You said Sandy Hook was a false flag. You said the Las Vegas shooting was a false flag. You pushed QAnon theories. You said the Speaker of the House should be tried for treason, and you liked the post that said they were going to put a bullet in her head. Should I list all the other ones? You talked about Jewish space lasers. I don't think you should be on the Education Committee. That's not being canceled. Again, that's just common sense. That's having standards. Are we not allowed to have standards anymore?
To the Pledge of...
I can't believe fucking Ariana Grande is canceling me by not dating me. I'm so upset. Can you believe that Ariana Grande is canceling me because she will not date me? This is fucking ridiculous. These damn libtards canceling people.
Of Allegiance, the reasoning was rather tortured. Democrat Congresswoman Cori Bush said that the Pledge of Allegiance was a symbol of white supremacy, and that to accept a statement of the Pledge of Allegiance would just reinforce...
All right, I can't take these guys anymore. Well, yeah, didn't really have, just kind of threw some shit together there for a second. The bad boy mix. Thanks for the bits. Really appreciate that, my guy. I missed a couple other things too. Let me see if I can find them here. I know I missed a couple other notifications. Anybody who followed me or whatever during the stream, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Mimi Nina, thanks for the follow. Shannon, thanks for the $5. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Awesome. That's why I knew this thing was good for something. Now I got now I can go back over the things I miss. But yeah. So oh, thanks, Paul. I appreciate that. I don't know, that was the first celebrity that came to mind. I don't know why that was the first one, but yeah. So I figured just do a little stream before the game. And as always, thank you guys for hanging out. I really appreciate it. Anybody new to the thing, all the links to everything are down in the description. If you want to follow me on any of the other social medias, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. Join the Discord, definitely. You should definitely join the Discord, because we're turning it into, yeah. We're turning it into a thing. It's gonna be a thing. All right, it's gonna be the biggest thing in 2021. Let me tell you. What else? Oh yeah, make sure you guys follow me on Twitch, because at the end of the month, my live streams are gonna be only on Twitch. And now we know Tim's celebrity crush is. Yeah. That, and I used to have a big thing for Jennifer Love Hewitt. I don't know. She kind of fell off the face of the earth, but when I was like a young, when she was in movies and stuff, I always had a thing for Jennifer Love Hewitt. But yeah, everything's down in the description, and yeah, thanks for hanging out, guys. Appreciate it. What else? Anything else? I feel like there's something else I was gonna tell you guys. I can't remember what the fuck it was now. Damn. Anyway, all right, yeah. So go Bucks. Tommy fucking Brady. See y'all next time. Peace out.